In a world of power creep, broken main weapons, and insane specials, Ten needs all the help it can get to thrive in a competitive environment. This is precisely why the devs gave it the special that made it a popular and beloved pick in Splatoon 2 both casually and competitively throughout its entire lifespan. Super Chump. And to assist, Toxic Mist. Well, needless to say, people saw this kit and immediately tried to flush down the drain. But today is a new day, and so the question becomes, is this kit cooked on arrival, or is everyone hating for the love of the game? Alright, we got the kit, and it's clearly all about staying alive and holding space, so that's the gear we're balling with. We got Charge Up, 4 more chumps, Swim Speed for mobility, Quick Respawn because we're not actually gonna get the kills, 2 subs of Exterminate so we can shoot twice, throw a shield, and a mist in total, more Swim Speed for more mobility, and Stealth Jump because it's broken. That's the gear, let's get to the gameplay. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more TED content, and stick around until the end of the video so you can hear my full thoughts on this kit so far. Alright, going into game 2, we're going to switch things up a little bit. We're putting 1.3 of Ink Saver main so that we can shoot 3 times, launch a shield and a mist, so we can better implement the mist into the fighting. Alright, here are my mostly unscripted thoughts on the new tent kit. So first of all, first throwable sub on tent, I will say I am pretty impressed. It offered a lot more utility than I thought. The synergy was actually a lot better, so pleasantly surprised with Mist. And the playstyle of the new tent kind of didn't really make sense, and UMass said it was the stall tent of this game. And then things started to make more sense. Back in Splatoon 2, when you wanted to actually stall with tent, you had to be very proactive about it. You would pop your bubble blowers in an annoying spot and then sit in your bubbles and threaten with 10 shields the area you wanted the opponent to not have, or you would sit in your splash wall. It was very proactive, and in this game with this kid, you just throw stuff at the area your opponent must not go to. You throw your mist, you throw your chumps on plat to deny a couple more seconds, you throw the mist on snipe to annoy the charger there. It's different stall, but it's still stall. As for chumps, it is also an ink tank refill. But, and now we're gonna go for the negatives. It's a do-nothing kit. The kit just kind of does nothing. Chumps, they're good against certain weapon classes like blasters and chargers, but they get shredded very easily by weapon classes like shooters, buckets, and swords, and those are the weapon classes you see in comp all the time. So in comp, the opponent just naturally has good things against chump. It does not work out well. The stall value it provides isn't really worth it. And for, as for mist, you throw a mist, but the opponent can still walk through the mist. You can try to funnel the opponent into you, throw a mist one direction, throw the shield in another direction, but the opponent can still go through the mist. We can still do things in the mist. It's not like a bomb that's denying area a lot more effectively, and chumps just feels very weak, like you're playing the other kids. So it's like, snap, here's an ink vac walking under your basket. It's like, snap, here's a Zuka popped into you. Here it's like, here's chump, I guess, and it just gets shredded, and then kind of nothing happens. It just does nothing. When you're throwing mist, you're not providing chip damage for your team, you're not providing paint for your team. You're denying theoretical areas, but the opponent can still go into it. It's kind of does nothing. Mist does help a lot in tense fights, but it still just kind of does nothing. And that's way too weak. Ten needs help to beat the bad matchups, right? It's why Stamper felt like such like a 90-10 matchup with the vanilla kid, because the vanilla kid didn't have the tools to beat Stamper, and more like a 50-50 with the Sorella kid, because the Sorella kid had the tools to beat Stamper, but this kid has no tools to beat any of its bad matchups. You lose a lot of utility. You're doing your thing, but your thing is not that strong. If Chumps gets buffed, maybe, but otherwise, Chumps feels weak. Tent, by its very nature, elevates any special it's on by creating new angles for it. It's why Hammer, despite being a D-tier special in Splatoon 2, was still extremely good on Tent, because Hammer struggled at getting opportunities to be used, and Tent constantly provided opportunities to be used. It's why Zuka on Tent is so good, because you're constantly getting the opportunity to have new angles for your Zukas, angles no other weapon can have access to. 10 naturally elevates its kits. It's why Mist is also so good on it. But Trump does not benefit from a 10 shield at all. You can already throw it at whatever distance you want. You can already throw it in the enemy spawn when you're like in mid. This is a C tier special that Tent does not elevate. The chumps popping when you're throwing your 10 shield right after popping chumps also feels really awkward. So like if you want the chumps to try to protect you when you're opening your shield, you have to throw them while you're in your shield, which is a specific timing. I don't know. It feels like a lot of ifs and buts, and then those ifs are not really turning out that well. The gimmick of that tent is unique, and it's a good addition alongside the other two tents looking back now, but it's not it. Also, compared to the bomb rush refill, the ink tank refill is very slow, so the chump isn't even good at that. Could be strong in the future if chumps gets buff, reduce the startup lag. I don't know why we put more startup on chumps than on Zuka. Feels really random, feels really bad too. I don't know why the cooldown is so long. Chumps is really held back, but I can definitely see this kid being strong should it receive the help it deserves. And yeah, that's definitely a kit that we'll keep in our back pocket. We're gonna watch. Should Chump get buffed, it can definitely get back on the discussion table. But right now, I just don't see why you would play it over the other two kits. Those are my thoughts on it. Interesting, but in its current state, it's a do-nothing kit, so it's just not worth it. That's about it. I'm gonna do more gameplay of this thing. We're gonna explore some more. Maybe I'll post the montage I was supposed to post this weekend. So yeah, I'll see you around. Bye. Have a great day. Like and subscribe for more of this kit. Let's hope and pray it actually becomes good, because it would be very interesting to see it in action. I'll try and count. Maybe that's what I'll post. But yeah. All right. Bye.